Welcome, my guy. Why are you shouting, João? Because right now it's still 1 a.m. So it's okay. We can still shout, right? So I'm gonna share with you today in English. Praise the Lord. How many of you asked? Now in English. Yesterday was in Portuguese. Today I'm gonna be in English. But yesterday was something different. If you wanna know what I said yesterday, you gotta learn some Portuguese, my guy. But it's still about the same book, Atomic Habits, from James Clear. Yesterday I explained the chapter 11. Today I'm going to explain the chapter 12. But João, how does it work? It's basically one law. Do you know the law? Like do not kill, or if you kill, you are going to go to prison. The law is the law of least effort. And what is the law of the least effort? The whole idea, what all the chapter is about, is that your brain is lazy. Point. Your brain, lazy. Let's write a brain. Let's draw a brain. It's lazy. Your brain is lazy. That's the fact. You always do what is the easiest thing to do. You always do the easiest thing no matter what. This law, that's what basically stands for. When you have two similar options, you always go for the option that is the easier, that takes and spends less energy. Because for our brain, energy is something so precious. It's like a diamond. You know the guy from The Lord of Rings? My precious. That's how your brain is with energy. Your brain doesn't want to spend energy. You want to spare as much energy as possible. Why? Because your brain is from thousands of years being developed. And in many years ago, you needed to hunt to have your food. And when you had your food, you needed to keep your energy to stay alive. But today you have plenty of food, so you don't need to follow those brain instincts anymore. If you want to prosper. If you don't want, you can keep following. You can keep eating as a pig and living a bad life. So the law of least effort. Your brain is lazy. So this guy, let's give a name to the guy. It's not the right name, but it's a real story. We gave the name of Simon. I forgot the real name. But he basically stated for one thing. If my draw is not as good as you can identify, this is the word map. Yeah, it's perfect, isn't it? I think I'm an excellent drawer. So this guy was looking at the map, and he realized something. Simon realized something. He looked at it and he said, the continents, they have different shapes. If you look at Americas and Africa, they are like, we say that is north, south oriented. So this one is north, south. And you are gonna get to the point where I tell why this has something to do with you. And this one has another point, which is east, west, and east, north. So people came from north, south, and here they came from west, east. What does it mean, João? Who cares? Who cares where they came from or where they go, or if the continents have different shapes? The fact that the continent had different shapes changed completely the way people live in this age. Which age? The age of agriculture. So let's give an example. If somebody here in Brazil, he plants oranges and he's a great farmer. But no matter how great this farmer is, he would never ever be able to plant the same orange in the same quality in the north in Canada. because there is full of snow. So as you walk from north to south, you see a climate change way bigger than when you walk from east-west. So the same guy who planted potatoes here can plant potatoes here. The same person, the same farmer, but here the things were changing and was a bit harder to plant food. As the agriculture was easier on Europe and Asia, therefore they had more food to eat. Once they had more food to eat, they had more children to raise. They were able to create and to raise more childs. Why? Because they had more food to feed those childs, and they have more food to keep those people alive. And once they keep more people alive, they have more people in their population. Once they have a bigger population, they have a bigger army. Once they have a bigger army and a bigger population, they have more money, they have more technology. And that's why you saw Europe and Asia colonizing the whole world. Okay, João, who cares? What this has to do with me? So they colonized the whole world, and they grew so much because the easiest point, because it was easiest, planting and making food on west to east. But how can this relate to my life? You know, nowadays people say that motivation is the thing that makes you keep in track. If you are motivated, then you can keep doing what you're called to do. If you are motivated every single day, wake up at 5 and you run. No, that's actually not true. Because imagine a hose. I'm getting better in the drawer, bro. And this hose, it's making some water come out. And when you have, but this hose is not straight. What is it? There?
Cricket.
Cricket. It's cricket. It's not straight. And that's like you. When you count on motivation to do the things, when you do not make your environment design to go towards the direction of the habits you want to have. So you have two options here. Because the hose is turned, is not correct. Either you open the valve more and you make small water run out, but this would put the tension higher. And it would be even harder for the hose. Would give some more water out, yes, but it would be way harder. But this is not applicable in a long life run. This is like you putting motivation and pump up motivation on when you don't want to do things. The easiest and the most logical and the best thing to do here to make more water come out or to make you do the things you need to do is to straight up the hose. So that when you straight up the hose, it's easier for the hose to make the same amount of water come out. And how can you apply this to your normal life? What does this mean for me? So to make the hose straight is basically creating an environment design that go towards the direction you want to have for your life. So as our brain is lazy, always does what is easier, then we gotta make it easier to do the right thing. What do you mean, João? For example, for a time in my life I wanted to stop using drugs. But was easier for me to use drugs if I was close to my friends who use drugs. Was easier for me to use drugs if I was walking with those people who use drugs. And if I was talking about this, and if I was living that. So to stop doing that, I needed to step back and go away from those friends. So in this way, my brain would need to think harder or to make a harder effort to go there and do the action. So as it was harder for my brain, I started to stop using drugs. Praise the Lord. So your brain is easy. and you can apply this in a good way to your life. Do you want to start running every day in the morning? In the day before, you already prepare. You put the shoes next to your bed, you prepare your shorts, you put the shorts, you invite your friend, you make it easier. So when the moment comes, man, you're ready. Do you want to prepare a nice breakfast for yourself? In the night before, you go there and you put a pan and you break the spray oil, and then you prepare the plates, all the cutlery, and all the things you're going to need. You already separate. So then when you wake up in the morning, you don't need to think, oh, I need to prepare my healthy breakfast. No, the things are already there. You don't need to think, oh, I need to take the pan, I need to take the oil, the plates. No, it's easier. You just need to go there and prepare your breakfast, because everything is already prepared. Everything is already set up. And you can use exactly the same thing to break bad habits. So you can use this to build good habits. You can make it easier. You can design your environment to help you by working with the people who have the habits you have, by preparing your a room to do the things you gotta do. And you can also break bad habits by exactly the same law, but doing the opposite way. For example, if you are addicted to watch television, what do you gotta do? After each day that you finish watching television, you stop watching television, you unplug from the wire. So then next time, you are gonna go to your routine, you come from your work, and then you're like, oh, let's watch television. Oh man, but I need to plug. It's a small thing, but as your brain is so lazy, it's gonna make a bit harder for it to do it. And if it's not working to unplug, then maybe you need to take a step further and unplug and also remove the battery from the controller. And if it's not working, maybe you need to take a step further and then unplug, remove the batteries, and put your TV remove from the room and put in your closet. So then it's gonna be even harder for your brain and for yourself to do those things that you don't wanna do. So make as hard as possible for you to do the bad habits. And the big question, no matter if you're a leader, no matter if you are a member, no matter if you are a father or anybody, if you wanna achieve and you wanna build good habits and you wanna break bad ones, you gotta ask yourself the question. How can I create an environment, and I'm sorry if I spell wrong, that makes easier to do the right thing? But again, this is the chapter 12 of the book. So we already have gone through many things. We already have gone through the step of being aware of your behavior and being aware of your habits. To change anything in your life, my brother, my sister, you need to be aware of it. To be aware of it, take a paper right now as this video ends and write down all your habits, from the small ones to the big ones. Be aware of them. And once you are aware of all the things you do, you wake up, you see what time is in your clock, you brush your teeth, I hope so, you put your clothes, all the things you do, until the moment you go to bed again, write down. So then you are able to change. Once you are aware, you are able to change. And after you do that, after you are aware of the habits you want to build and the ones you want to break, you ask yourself the question, how can I create an environment that makes easier to do the right thing? Yeah, I hope you have learned something, man. I definitely did learn something. I explained the same thing 3 times and only now it's making sense. So I hope you understood. If you put into practice, if this helped you somehow, please just answer me, so then I'm gonna know that in English is also working, because I have been saying Portuguese and people have been saying thank you to me and asking me for the full video. So as an encouragement for me to keep doing in English, show me that you have learned something. Yeah, thank you so much, and you are beloved.